So there was many other press conferences, but I thought I'd round up Capcom, Square Enix and Ubisoft all together because some of them didn't quite have as many games that gripped me, but I just wanted to pick some of my highlights from those 3 other press conferences. So let's check them out. First up, we've got Rainbow Six Extraction. Now, this definitely took a turn that I was not expecting. Considering Rainbow Six is usually more gritty, and I want to say realistic, maybe besides some of the future ones, realistic as you can be. They've taken a brave step here, and I applaud them for doing that because this looks amazing. There's aliens. Rainbow Six with aliens. And it's like a cooperative one, which I prefer. I prefer cooperative to the PvP when it comes to Rainbow Six. Something good about a good squad against like a group of terrorists, but in this case, aliens. They're kind of like weird liquidy aliens. They can like transform shape, so they come across the floor. They can make spikes. I really like this design. So you've got to go in and extract someone, but you can also lose players and you might have to come back and extract them. Didn't quite fully explain how that mechanic will work, but from the gameplay, it looked great. It was very similar to like the aesthetic, and some of the characters are from Rainbow Six Siege, so I feel like they're just extending that universe. But imagine like Rainbow Six Siege got invaded by aliens. But I'm hoping this means some like, because it's co-op and there's lots of aliens, some different design levels. So I'm hoping maybe like some bigger levels or more like a journey, like an adventure through like an abandoned warehouse or something. So this has potential, and if they choose some really cool locations, and hopefully they've done some work to the AI, so it's a bit more random each time, this could be amazing. On to our next game. Next up, we've got Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, and this is Avatar is in the James Cameron movie series, not Avatar, The Last Airbender. So this looks spectacular, and now I really quite enjoyed the Avatar game that came out for the first film. I know people have mixed feelings about it, but this looks really good and has potential. It's such a great world, and I think with the next generation consoles just come out with the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, they could really push to make this world look fantastic. So I've got my fingers crossed. We don't know if it's just single player or multiplayer. As always, I kind of hope for co-op. I kind of like going through a story with some other people. The humans seem to be back with ships. There seem to be some flying on the alien birds. Yeah, it's just such a colourful world, I think would work really well. So I'm curious to see what the actual gameplay is going to be like. On to our next game. Next is a game Ubisoft has showed off previously, but just in like a CGI trailer. We've got Riders Republic. Now this is something special. I feel like there's definitely a lack of racing games this time and any time during this era. So, and I'm a big fan of race games, and this looks amazing. There's so many different things you can do: snowboarding, bicycles, wingsuits, jetpack suit things. But there's loads of you racing at the same time. I think it's 64 players, they said, but all racing down like hills and at the same time. But they've added some arena modes as well. There was like some snowboarding arenas that kind of look like a Tony Hawk type vibe. And I was like, oh, I thought we were just going to go for these massive downhill things. So to have those 2 modes really added, and I think there's such like an adrenaline rush, and it's just so cool to see all these bicycles go down. So I'm hoping people will pick up this game, and I've really got my fingers crossed for like a racing game comeback. I just want one good racing game where everyone's like, yeah, and they really get into it, and it blows up the racing game scene again, because unfortunately the last couple of years, and maybe even the last decade, racing games are few and far between, and that's a shame. So I've got great potential, it looks amazing, so fingers crossed. On to the next game. Right, next up is Trackmania. And you're thinking, Trackmania's already been out. Which Trackmania are about? So there was a Trackmania that came out last year. There was like a free version of it. There's like a subscription service. But what I'm here to talk to you about is the Royal mode. Imagine if Trackmania and Fall Guys had a baby. It's like the Trackmania tracks, but with like crazy obstacles. Like I thought Trackmania was crazy already. So this looks like really good fun. I think they've gone for like a summer vibe in it, so that should be great. And yeah, there's not much to say about it just from what the gameplay. It's just more Trackmania, but with some fun levels and tracks and some new obstacles. So this has potential, and it's nice to see them do something different with Trackmania. So on to the next game. So next up is Guardians of the Galaxy. Now I have mixed feelings about this. I put this on this because I'm a big Guardians fan. At first I thought it was going to be an expansion for Marvel Avengers, but turns out it's not. It has a very similar look to it. But it's one player. I was kind of hoping for co-op, but maybe they've learnt some mistakes from the disaster that was Marvel's Avengers. I haven't checked in to see how well they've patched that, but it didn't sound good from what many people have said. But less on that, because hopefully they fixed that and they've got a new expansion for that as well about Wakanda. But Guardians of the Galaxy has the potential. Not quite sure on some of the character designs, but I'm glad they're going with what they think looks good. A little bit concerned if you don't get to swap players. If you're just playing a Star-Lord, it might get a bit thingy-bob. There's some good ideas with choosing storylines, and you can affect the story. I'm just concerned from the demo, the one level looked a bit plain, but you know what, I love Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think this has potential. I think they just didn't want to show too much, so let's keep our fingers crossed. This could be a hidden gem. Next. And finally, what came as a surprise, a new Ace Attorney, the Great Ace Attorney, but this time they've got a different lawyer. This is set in the Victorian times. A Japanese lawyer comes to London to help solve crimes in London and wants to become a lawyer with the help of Sherlock Holmes. Yep, that's right, that sounded weird, but yes, instead of Sherlock Holmes, they've mixed the letters around as some type of weird spoof parody, so that was a bit weird. This has potential. I like some of the changes they've made and added to Ace Attorney. Not really had a chance to play Ace Attorney, but this looks interesting. I'm not sure how much I feel about the British setting, but this is just a normal pet peeve because sometimes they put like over stereotypical British people and it can be really annoying. Which is obviously, if you're not from Britain, it's probably fine. Like, oh, that's how British people sound, but it's annoying. As someone who's British, it's annoying. But it's fair enough. It looked like it could be fairly funny. I think the Sherlock Holmes bit will catch on. He kind of had like a steampunk look to it. So I think if I was going to jump in on an Ace Attorney game, this could be the one. It's definitely interesting. So that was a bit of my random highlights. So there you go. There's some highlights from the rest of those. There'll probably be some more videos next week of anything I've missed or other games that pop up with more details. So I'll just keep you updated on those. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching very much. Thanks to our patrons. And we'll see you next time. And I hope you've had a great E3. Remember to stay safe. Bye.